Protests continue in Minneapolis. Protesters gathering outside the federal building Friday. ABC News cameras there as federal officials moved in.
So what we're seeing here is a couple dozen officers that have come out of the federal building there in riot gear.
No, I meant to put sweaty on purpose. I said sweaty on purpose.
Pushing the protesters that have been out front of the building all day long back onto the sidewalk. They have threatened people with arrest if they don't comply.
Several protesters eventually arrested. Officers seen here in this video chasing a protester down in a nearby field.
This man claimed he was a protester. Protesters thought he was a part of Jake Lang's crew. DHS came by and scooped him up. Oh, thank God. They're protecting their own, you know? Protect and serve, baby. Protecting the troops. Don't know why they left with the door wide open.
We know. I was with him earlier. Why?
They chased the dude for blocks and he ran.
He's one of them. He's one of us. Okay, good. I'm one of them. You know what I do? Is he? He's one of us. I don't know. How we know? I was with him earlier. Why he get ran out earlier? I don't know, but he's one of us. I'm with them. Okay. Trust me.
He's been here this entire.
He's been with us the whole time.
For the past hour.
All right, man. Hey,
Extracting the asset. We've tactically ascertained an asset, and we're extracting him.
How you black in your eyes, pussy? He's black.
Oh my God. Ain't no way. So he was a plant. And the feds took him out. Because if he was actually a protester, like legit protester, the Department of Homeland Security would have been fucking beating his ass, right? Also, they wouldn't have actually come in to beat his ass if he was an actual protester and other people were like pushing him out of the crowd. And he just strolled into that fucking Nazi van. Look at that. No handcuffs, no zip ties.
How you black in your eyes, pussy? He's black. He jumping on the minivan. What happened? That's a black ice agent.
Damn, they did exfil, dude. Oh my God.
Hey, let me see your papers, you black motherfucker.
Okay, chill. This makes me think the flag burner was one of these guys and was waiting for his pickup. Like if he's a protester and there's like a squabble, right? There's like a little fight amongst the protesters. DHS is not going to come in and fucking do an exfiltration, right? Yeah, it's a black person saying it. Don't chill. Okay, I don't know. I don't check the Fed shoes. I mean, there's a lot of people that are wearing Fed ass shoes. It's fucking Minnesota. Everyone's gonna be wearing boots. But I think the real indication that this man who claimed he was a protester and it turns out he wasn't is the fact that the Department of Homeland Security came in with their fucking Gestapo goons and exfiltrated him, so.
Where are we supposed to go?
And as ICE continues to expand what they call Operation Metro Surge, multiple sources tell ABC News Mayor Jacob Fry and Governor Tim Walz now under federal investigation for obstructing law enforcement activity. Walz responding, saying, weaponizing the justice system and threatening political opponents is a dangerous authoritarian tactic. The only person not being investigated for the shooting of Renee Good is the federal agent who shot her. And this morning, new information about the shooting of Renee Good. The first emergency calls coming at 9:38 a.m. One telling dispatchers, there's 15 ICE agents and they shot her, because she wouldn't open her car door.
Can I go check a pulse?
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician!
I don't care. We understand. We got EMS coming.
Paramedics arrived at 9:42 a.m., reporting Good had 2 gunshots to the right chest, 1 gunshot to the left forearm, and an additional wound on the left side of her head, which the report called a possible gunshot wound. Controversy over that shooting not slowing down ICE operations. DHS saying some 2,500 arrests have been made since the operation began, including outside the Minneapolis metro area. Multiple witnesses tell ABC News federal agents ate lunch in a Mexican restaurant in Wilmar, nearly 100 miles outside Minneapolis Thursday, then followed the staff after closing time. This video obtained by ABC News showing officers arresting 3 of them.
Now, President Trump had threatened to use the Insurrection Act, which would have allowed him to deploy the U.S. military to the streets here in Minneapolis, but he has walked that back since then, saying, at least for now, Rhiannon, he does not think it's necessary.
All right, Matt Rivers there for us in Minneapolis. Thank you.
Not allowed. This is private property.
CBP agent tells U.S. citizen to show him his paperwork because of his accent. This one is doing numbers on TikTok already.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork? Because of your accent. I still... You have an accent too.
I'm sorry, it's disgusting, but you can't. Like, really, bro? Says you. Motherfucker. You said you have an accent. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You are literally doing a bodies and spaces in this moment. You know that you can have an accent and not be fucking undocumented. Fuck is wrong with you?
Where were you born, sir? Where were you born at? Put your hands behind your back.
Ramon Monero was detained by U.S. Border Patrol agents outside his home in a Minneapolis suburb after an agent questioned whether he was a citizen because of his accent.
I'm from this country. You know what, sir? Now talking to you, hearing that you have an accent, I have reason to believe that you are not born of this country. So you just made an accent? What country are you from?
He should have done a Uno reversal and be like, I'm putting you under arrest, motherfucker. You are an illegal. The other ICE agents, they go, wait a minute, he's right. That motherfucker does have an accent. They start fighting amongst themselves. They're like, and then the other guy is like, the other guy's name is like Juan Carlito as well. So then the third ICE agent's like, wait a minute, you have an accent too. And then the other guy starts beating on the other guy. And then the third guy realizes the third guy has an accent too. The fourth guy comes in and starts beating on the third guy. It's an endless cycle.
According to Monero, agents took a photo of him and searched a system that indicated he's been a U.S. citizen since 2019. They also checked his U.S. passport card, which he keeps in his wallet, before letting him go. Monero, who was born in Mexico and obtained a U.S. passport in 2021, was detained in front of his 5-year-old daughter.
Well, she was shaking when I got in the home, and she's like, are you okay? That we're going to take you? I don't want to lose you. And I'm like, you're not going to lose me. Even though I'm a citizen, I'm still feel afraid because they don't care if you're a citizen or not. And especially because I know I have a really strong accent speaking English. I know I can be a target because that's who are they targeting just because our appearance and because of our accent.
CNN has contacted the Department of Homeland Security for comment on the incident and to ask if agents are allowed to temporarily detain people on the street with accents.
Why are you asking me for my paperwork?
It's nutty, man. It's out of control. It's out of control. If only there was someone who was fucking calling this out in the month of August in 2024.
Crazy. And Donald Trump is talking about Eisenhower. He's talking about a word I can't say because it's a slur in the aftermath of the Becerra program, where we deported 1.3 million Mexicans from this country, including Mexican Americans, as a matter of fact. Not just people from, not people whose nation of origin is Mexico. We did that. We did that during World War I, and we did that in the aftermath of World War II. And Donald Trump's touting that as a popular policy, and it's got like 60% approval right now. And a big part of the reason is because there's no counter messaging against that from the Democratic front. They have completely been captured by the right-wing framing on the matter. And obviously, it's very racist, very fascist. I mean, it's just like straight Nazi Germany stuff. No one is thinking about like what 20 million, let's say there's 20 million migrants in this country that are undocumented. How exactly are you going to do the mass deportation? You're going to start going into brown neighborhoods with BORTAC, with the American Gestapo, Special Weapons and Tactics for the Customs and Border Patrol, in what the ACLU calls Constitution-free zones, and you're going to start doing door-knocking operations and cast a dragnet over brown communities, and then put them in CCOT style, like in El Salvador, like mass detention centers, mass deportation facilities. You're going to put them in front of one judge, 200 at a time, because this 20.
I need you guys to remember, this was before the election, okay? This is in 2024, August of 2024, okay? August of 2024, motherfucker. Called it down to the fucking location, dude.
Million people. That's a lot of people, right? You have to make this process as expedient as possible. So now you're putting 200 people at a time in front of a judge that is declaring them to be illegal. Then you have to put them in concentration camps. I mean, that's just straight Nazi Germany stuff. And I don't think anybody's talking about it on those terms, which I find to be abhorrent. I find it to be morally repugnant.
But to have agreement with like neither one of the parties is being reasonable here. It's just everyone's getting dragged over to a place that, like, I mean, what is that? How is it that we've arrived there? Like that is not anyone's idea of America in principle.
I know. And Americans are actually not of one mind on this. Immigration historically is one issue where Americans are like consistently both very sympathetic to migrants on and also very Hitlerian in the same breath. Like these are, if you look at focus groups on immigration, you'll be shocked. Like a person will unironically say, I want mass deportations of all migrants living on U.S. soil. And in the next breath, we'll say something along the lines of, yeah, we should do amnesty actually for everyone that's been here. And it's like, how can you have these two opinions? That's because the Democratic Party is too scared. They refuse to actually have any sort of counter messaging on this front. And they just capitulate the right-wing framing every single time. They did this with the crime panic too. It's completely born out of hysteria. It's straight Hitlerian on the Republican side. And what's happening in America right now is not dissimilar to the rise of Hitler and Nazi Germany, in the sense that like liberals also capitulated to in an effort not to adequately put up a strong fight and align with the communists and align with the trade unionists, align with the socialists against the rise of Nazis and the rise of fascism in Germany. They said, no, this guy is working within the confines of German politics. It's fine. And we all know what happened afterwards. It's called the ratchet effect. The Democrats regularly play the role of almost controlled opposition on a lot of issues, this one being one of them. It's the same with the bipartisan consensus on American foreign policy. This is basically, which I would consider to be fascist in general, but no one really cares about that. And this is fascism inward, like bringing fascism back domestically, having concentration camps for people that don't look like you, that people whose immigration status could be quickly and expediently dealt with and turned into documented U.S. citizens who are already participating in the American economy in incredibly meaningful ways. People who statistically are less likely to do crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens. A fact that Democrats should be saying every single day of the week. They should be putting that front and center. It's just completely made up. This hysteria about migrant crime is completely made up. Crime is down. Crime is down in America across the board. Okay. Crime is down. It readjusted back to like the lowest levels that it was at pre-pandemic. Right. And it's only going down further and further. So the idea that like.
Here's my take from August 2024 on the Dan Le Batard show about the Dems' failure on immigration as they pivoted to the right, what that would look like after a potential Trump victory, and how the ratchet effect works. Because he's still fucking trying to argue with people in the chat, in the replies. Hello, you can literally just type Kamala Harris in his YouTube channel and just find his opinion here. I don't think he accused I don't think the accused should have to be the one prove anything if the accuser hasn't even done a modicum of good faith research. This is a video of him saying, I understand the harm reduction argument, but the politician has to earn your vote. Am I missing something? He cites Roe v. Wade overturned as Democrats aren't fixing women's rights. But that would only happen because Hillary didn't win. He's literally describing the Democrats' policy on immigration as the same as the Republicans and displaying a gigantic graphic that says the two-party system is fake. He says, in 2028, Dems will run on mass deportations. The whole video is exactly what my original post was. And he is, I thought maybe this guy was good faith. Okay, but right here, it's very clear that he's not good faith. He's just doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, what I was talking about there is the Democratic Party running on the Trump campaign's 2020 policies, because that's precisely what they were doing in 2024. That's what they were doing. And that is exactly what the problem is. No, that's a D stand. Whatever, dude. I will fucking duke it out with these people until it, like, I assume that there's just fucking bad faith. Okay? But maybe they have fans that aren't bad faith and they've just been deluded into thinking that, like, I represent this, like, dangerous threat or whatever, and that I'm not making a serious attempt to try and educate people here. But what's best, here's the thing. These guys are bad faith, but they don't actually command a lot of influence over liberal Democrats in general. Okay? They are speaking to an increasingly smaller minority within the base of support amongst liberals. Wait, from the description of Renee Good's wound, did she have two to the chest, one to the head? Was she blocked with her forearm? I hear he did the Mozambique drill. You can hear the longer pause in a second and gunshot. Two pure psycho shit. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Anyway, my point is, I was fucking right down to the goddamn location that they utilized. Okay? Here's the thing. What? Okay, good one, chatter. This is what's so fucking frustrating. What is this? Good one. Kill yourself jokes. Ha 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 brain. I love this. Oh, someone's still on welfare. Okay, dude. You guys don't have to deal with every single dumb fuck in the chat that's saying dumb shit like that. I don't want Republicans to win, okay? I don't want Republicans to win. But I also don't want Democrats to turn into Republicans. It's not only bad policy, but it's bad politics in general. Because Democrats turning into Republicans as they try to moderate for this, like, reasonable voter in the center is an abject fucking failure. And luckily, I don't even have to make this argument that much anymore. Okay? When did you say this? You cooked? August 7th, 2024. What? Dan, let him speak. Fox News would have interrupted him with short, quippy, but rhetorically effective lies, red herrings, and non sequiturs until the American public is... Okay. I said it before the DNC. I said it during the DNC. I said it over and over and over again. Still obsessed with you setting up the basketball core background in this interview? No, I was at the courts. In any case, I had to take any opportunity I could to try and educate liberals that this kind of messaging was bad. Okay? This kind of messaging was bad and would lead to a failure. But now that failure has come, and therefore a lot of people are also aware that this kind of messaging is bad, and they're looking for something different now. They're looking for something more. So I don't even feel, I feel encouraged. I feel like nowadays, at least liberals recognize that the party lost again, okay? And therefore they're looking for they're looking for an alternative. They're looking for someone who will actually fight, someone who will actually push back against the Republicans doing all this fuck shit. So these liberals are actually speaking to a much smaller audience every single fucking day that they do this kind of stuff. Okay? That's it. Let's continue.
Oh, stop. Jesus.
Hey! Stop kneeing him in the face! That's his face! Stop it!
Bro, I swear to God, Kaya
Well,
is
many
like,
of the headlines.
she is trying to fucking have me roll over her tail. I swear to God. Even AIPAC recognizes this reality for Dems. AIPAC knows that funding ICE politically toxic for Dems, and they're using that as a wedge to avoid talking about their policy goal, which is lockstep support for Israel's Gaza policy. All Dems should take note of how their savvy support for ICE funding can be weaponized.
Fund.
You might think you're being clever with some horseshit about body cams and a new SOP, but if some group wants to, they're just going to pluck the top line number and say you're enabling Trump's fascism. The subtext is that it shows you aren't fighting and can't be trusted to follow through on the kinds of big changes needed to reclaim our democracy. That seems to me to be not worth whatever imaginary gains you think triangulation might deliver. Head pats from WAPO pundits. Kaya is clip farming. I know she is. She's clip baiting. She's clip baiting.
Lines have focused on the Twin Cities. Greater Minnesota is feeling the impacts of the immigration crackdown as well.
WCCO's Frankie McClister headed 2 hours west to Wilmer, where arrests have closed restaurants and left a community on edge.
With a diverse population.
Bro, this was one of the more insane stories about ICE that came out yesterday. They go into a fucking Mexican restaurant and then they come back after hours and arrest the people. Like, they should not be allowed to step foot in a single fucking restaurant in any neighborhood, okay? They should not be. If you're a business owner, you should tell ICE to fuck off, get the fuck out of your property, okay? You should call the cops to trespass them. Just trespass them every time, anywhere they go. Run them out of town. No quarters.
For 21,000.
People refusing to come out the house.
Streets appearing to operate as normal, but businesses not.
And they detained someone just across the street from where I was working.
Showing they're either closed or taking orders differently.
I've seen with my two eyes, ICE detaining people.
Video here shows ICE activity in the Candy-Ojai County seat. This restaurant, El Tapatío, closed after WCCO confirmed agents visited the Mexican spot for lunch and came back later, detaining its owners and a dishwasher nearby, after they had closed early due to agents' previous appearance.
A 20-year-old who says his parents own the restaurant that are now detained says on Saturday they will reopen under his leadership.
WCCO reached out to DHS for comment on the matter. A visitor who stopped by to show his support says the liquor store he works at has lost about 3/4 of business since agents have appeared in Operation Metro Surge.
Just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And apparently it's not, because they're closed now.
And for a man who retired from Genio, one of the town's biggest employers.
What do you want for your community right now? What's the future? What do you think Wilmer is such
together and vote these people out? We're not scared, man.
In Wilmer, Frankie McClister, WCCO News.
Wilmer's mayor urged residents to stay calm and
Why are they coming at this from the perspective of its effect on business? Okay, first of all, it's local news, so obviously they fucking love small businesses. And secondly, it's still fucked up. Even if you're a small business owner and ICE comes in and arrests you, what are you talking about? What the fuck are we talking about, dude? It is completely ridiculous. Come on now. This is anti-ICE commentary. It's anti-ICE commentary from a perspective that actually, people understand and care about.
respect one another to keep the community safe.
Like, we was trapped. Anyway, I couldn't go forward, pulling off, couldn't go backwards. Like, it was no.
Oh, yeah, this is the dad ICE brutalized his 6-month-old baby. They gassed this fucking neighborhood, and while he was trying to get his 6-month-old baby, they gassed his baby. Excuse me? No, excuse ICE.
Nothing I could have did to get out that situation at the time.
A family was caught in the crossfire between ICE agents and protesters.
Sick fucks, dude.
In North Minneapolis. Reg Chapman sat down with a couple and their 6 children who were trapped inside their vehicle when tear gas exploded underneath.
Sean and Destiny Jackson, their 11 and 7-year-olds, 4-year-old twins and 6-month-old baby boy were on their way home from basketball practice when they were caught between protesters and ICE agents.
They stopped at my car and they proceeded to yell in it and said, get out of here. Well, they used profanity. And my husband screamed and said, we're trying.
The couple stayed calm. They say ICE agents ramped up their demands.
They said it again and we said, we're trying if you guys will move. And of course, like everybody's seeing what happened with Renee, what I'm saying? We weren't gonna pull off and why they were right there because that's what we were trying to avoid.
Destiny says the agents walked to the back of their vehicle and released a canister of tear gas under their vehicle.
Within seconds, there was a big boom and our car was up in the air and we slammed down and all of our airbags deployed and all of our doors locked. And tear gas just started forming, a ball of gas just started forming around the car.
She says panic set in.
I managed to feel around and open up I unlocked everybody's door and I hopped out and I just started pulling as many kids as I could out.
Bystanders stepped up. Destiny says she was taken inside a house nearby and total strangers began helping her children out of the smoke-filled vehicle.
The last person to get out the car was my infant child. And then when he came in, he was lifeless, it was foam or bubbles coming out of his mouth. I had to give him mouth-to-mouth and CPR. I couldn't even breathe myself. And all I remember is between every breath I was saying, I'm gonna give you every breath I have until you get yours back.
The couple has been together since their days at North High School. Sean was coached by Minneapolis and Metro Transit police officers, has respect for law enforcement. Now their lives forever changed by ICE agents and a canister of tear gas.
It's like they didn't have no care in the world for us, so.
And the windows was down. You can see my kids in the car. The lights were on in the car.
With photojournalist Tony Peterson, Reg Chapman, WCCO News.
Parents say that the children are traumatized.
Fucking animals, dude. What do you do? What do you do? Why? How do Roach fans defend this one? What do you mean? They don't either cover this kind of shit at all on the Roach side of things, or when they do, they go, yeah, based. Okay? Because they were in opposition. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. And what they're doing in terms of fucking around is just being in the vicinity of these lawless fucking animals, okay? They want more of this stuff to happen because they feel like it'll never happen to them, okay? And until it happens to them, they will not understand what the fuck is going on. They don't have the capacity to feel empathy for other people. This is a major driver of right-wing policy. As Matt Christmas says, the dual sadism of American politics, where it's all about just harming the other, okay? Harming your enemy, your political enemy.
One more thing on the Insurrection Act. I have a little bit more of a legal video that's right under this, but I want to talk just a little bit more about conceptual arguments around some of the rhetoric that we're seeing from liberal politicians and commentators about the Insurrection Act. The first is that this is how some of y'all sound. Don't give him what he wants. Just let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
That's how you sound. What he wants is for you to stand up to him. Do not give him what he wants. Instead, just don't do anything and let him do whatever he wants.
It makes no sense.
Here's the second thing. If you think that we are at a place where the President of the United States will send in the military to help the secret police that is disappearing people off the streets, disappear more people off the streets, if other people who live in that community and don't want people disappeared off the streets intervene, and so you are saying we must accept these people being disappeared off the streets. People in Minneapolis are being disappeared, taken to the federal building, and moved out of state within 24 hours so that people can't file habeas petitions on their behalf. That is happening incredibly commonly in Minneapolis. People are being moved back and forth in immigration detention across the country so that their lawyers cannot get in contact with them. We are already living in the world in which you fear.
This is also, this is what Greg Abbott did as well when he was doing the fucking, when he would take the asylum seekers and just like ship them off to Long Island and stuff.
You are just concerned that the consequences of that world and that style of total lack of due process rights and everything else, that might come for you as well. You are encouraging people to accept a reality where huge swaths of their neighbors have no access to basic human rights out of fear that things might get worse, by which we mean that they might get worse and that they might start impacting you in the way that they're impacting other people. I am sick and fucking tired of people coming onto the internet and encouraging calm and non-confrontational protest and staying at home and not, quote unquote, rising to the bait, when the bait that you were describing is the government disappearing people to work camps. And quote unquote rising is people like blocking their cars. If you think the president will invoke the Insurrection Act for that, and you were like so worried about it and you're not sure if the Supreme Court will allow him to do that, you think there's a pretty good chance that he might. Like,
is she not talking about you? Me? Bitch, what makes you think I'm not saying you should fucking oppose this every step of the way? Some of y'all have nothing up here, okay? Nothing. Nothing at all. When the fuck did I say don't oppose ICE every step of the way? Every single fucking day I'm talking about how you should oppose ICE. Lamau, man, shut your bitch ass up. Fucking take a week off, dude. Jesus Christ. So go out and do it, piece of shit. She's obviously insane. So go out and do it, piece of shit. Bitch, I have been doing it. I've been doing it for a fucking year, as a matter of fact. And I will continue to do it. And when I do it, your fucking roach god turns around and has this moment. Roll the clip. I know one of you has the HasanAbi Productions clip that I'm thinking of here, okay? Come on. Look, ha ha ha, I know, I owned you. Watch the fucking roach god. Here it is. Me doing exactly that. Last year, June 10th, 2025.
You see Hasan? No, I don't see Hasan. I heard he was out there. I don't know. I think that I saw an image of it, and I think he's on like the side up the top. So he's not actually going to go down there and stand in the in this area, because if he did, he'd get in trouble. Right? Like, he has no problem LARPing as a revolutionary, but actually putting it on.
Your chat is so hard for you right now. Yeah, I'm the mad one, brother. It is 1:56 p.m. Pacific time on a Saturday, and you're in the chat hate watching. Which one of us is actually the mad one? Which one of us is the fucking loser right now, you think? Oh my God, I'm from Sweden. Oh, you didn't even have to say that. 40-year-old IT specialist in Sweden. Holy moly. Yeah. I wonder which of the two is a fucking whole ass loser here. The one who is LARPing as an American right-winger from Sweden? Or the guy talking about all the instability happening in his own fucking backyard that wants to solve it?
On the line, this is going to be very different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to go and double check.
Yeah, he should be arrested then. Oh, he's not there. He's not there. He's like too much of a pussy to be there. Oh, he is there? He should be arrested.
It on the line, this is going to be very different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh, I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested. That's really how I see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how like there's no other solution to it other than that. Aren't they impeding a highway? They are. They're impeding a highway.
Last week, Asmongold Watch, protesters in Iran throw Molotov cocktails at security forces and said, yeah, based. He cares more, seemingly, about a revolution taking place in Iran than he does in his own fucking backyard. When his backyard and his neighbors are being brutalized by the American regime, he thinks not based, okay? The American regime should kill them. There's not a consistent bone in his fucking body. I guess he's Iran first, you know? Because you're all disgusting commies. American, Silver Spoon, wannabe revolutionary. American or not? Baroche Ken TV. If you're not American, you're getting banned. Yes? Are you American or are you European? You're all disgusting insurrectionists. American through and through here because Asman isn't. Okay, good. You're a different version of a cuck. At least you're not as cucked as a Swedish American LARPer. Okay? You're still cucked. You're still a fucking moron. You don't have a consistent bone in your fucking body either. You're an American in name only. Okay? You're looking at an Israel first, pedophile first administration and defending it down to the fucking hilt because you think it's actually destroying the enemies that you have concocted in your mind. And those enemies are just your parents, your neighbors, people that might have loved you at a certain point until, you know, your brain got too broken for them. So they started separating themselves from you. Okay? This is us versus them being the fucking government. Okay? Us being regular ass people. Have a little bit of decency and maybe a little bit of self-awareness to recognize that this administration doesn't care about you. This administration will inevitably have you in the crosshairs as well. Or at least one of the remaining loved ones in your life. Okay? You can keep begging, tread on me, please, every fucking day. But eventually, you're going to get fucked over as well.
And that's why you hear the beeping and the whistles again.
A network of volunteers.
Meanwhile, this is what we're up to.
Communicate via a secure messaging platform.
Can I get a plate check on Kilo 77, Florida plate? That one is confirmed. All right.
Modelled on a police dispatch call.
They were both traveling together. The Florida expedition just took a U-turn.
Just right at the lights.
We're riding along with one of them. Within half an hour, we're surrounded by a team of ICE officers. This is our first interaction.
Is there a reason you haven't talked about what's happening to Kurds in Syria? No. It's literally something that I talked about initially when HTS took over. Something that I said was going to inevitably happen when HTS took over, and it's been happening. You're deluded when it comes to EVs unless they're fillable in the same amount of time as a gas station. As easily as to find a gas station, it will never catch on. Sure, brother. I know. It's bad. It's horrible. It needs to be faster. You're right. You're so right. It will never catch on. I mean, it's caught on in China somehow. The only reason why it won't catch on in the United States of America is because we won't fucking fix our grid. We won't upgrade our grid. That's it. There are plenty of places now where it's, you know, it's already completely evolved in the EV direction.
Those officers just approached the car and they said if we in this car continue to impede them, that they'll break the windows.
We're going to take you out of the vehicle, and we're going to forcefully take you out of the vehicle. We're going to take you out of the vehicle. You're on camera, okay?
A while later, they're back again. Still, no laws have been broken.
Yeah, chatter sounds like cars will never catch on. They're not as efficient or as fast as horses are. Like, also, we don't have the necessary infrastructure for cars to catch on anyway. Horses are obviously better. Carts and buggies are obviously better. That's what you sound like.
3,000 ICE officers have been sent to Minneapolis, some of them with only a couple of months' training. We're driving when we see a woman at a bus stop.
Help.
ICE agents jump out of their car and pursue her down
God, they're so... Jesus Christ, dude. The Heil Titler Brigade. Oh, my
the
Lord.
middle of a main road.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a warrant for this lady's arrest? Excuse me. Do you have a warrant for this lady's arrest, sir?
So you don't have an ID?
She tells officers she's an American citizen. They ask her to show her ID. When she can't produce one, she's frog-marched to a police vehicle and taken away. The woman was released later that day. Lawsuits accuse
Oh,
ICE
my
of
Lord.
racial profiling. Nearby, in a residential area, ICE officers suddenly stop their car, blocking a main road opposite a community centre.
Sir, have you got quotas that you're trying to meet here? Do you have specific targets in mind, sir? You can see here just what a powder keg atmosphere is in Minneapolis at the moment. These agents pulled up at an intersection. Local residents furious that they're here.
A short drive away, we're in an industrial area where ICE have been arrested.
They have no shame. I mean, honestly, they kind of do have some shame, or at least fear, right? Because if they had no shame whatsoever, they wouldn't feel the need to mask up.
People.
This is an area
It's either
with a lot
shame
of
or
more
fear. I think it's
houses
fear,
and
but
businesses, and we've had reports that ICE are surrounding one of these businesses.
When we arrive, officers have just left. Panicked people fleeing the area.
Luckily, we saw them across the street walking over here. Thankfully, we were able to lock our doors and deny them entrance.
They didn't have warrants then?
No warrants. They're
coming here on the off chance?
Yeah, indiscriminately, just your skin tone, your type of job and everything, that's what they're targeting. But yeah, unfortunately, they did get one person.
They took one of your employees?
Yes. I am a U.S. veteran. I'm a citizen. For once in my life, I'm thinking I'm back in Afghanistan. So really think about that implication. This is not a combat zone. This is America. This is not what I fought for. I don't stand for this.
For some here, it feels like ICE is everywhere. This is a community on high alert and ready to resist. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Minneapolis.
Families impacted by ICE arrests are worried about the safety and well-being of those left behind. Uba Ali shares a story of a 2-year-old living in a safe haven thanks to important paperwork.
Nothing is going to happen to you, okay? I make sure, okay?
Those words are calming for this 2-year-old, but reality is anything but.
Oh, tu mami? Oh, tu mami. Muy pronto le vamos a ver a tu mami, ¿sí?
Scarlett is too young to understand why she hasn't seen her mother in 4 days, her father in 3 weeks, both taken by ICE.
The government is separating families and they don't care about what we feel or what we think.
Jessica has been friends with Scarlett's mom for a very long time, and in a short period of time has become everything Scarlett has left. Because her parents signed this DOPA form, a delegation of parental authority, naming Jessica as the person who would step in if the worst happened.
They asked for the form. If she doesn't have, she will be in a different place. I don't know where.
The form gives Jessica the legal right to take her to the doctor, daycare, or even to school. The ability to make decisions. As federal immigration enforcement has intensified, advocates have pushed for families to be prepared.
We knew this was going to happen. I don't think anybody could have predicted it was going to be this bad.
How often are we seeing children being left alone after federal agents take parents?
Right now, probably daily.
Viviana Salazar has been helping families complete DOPA forms since early last year. She says it's a powerful and proactive measure to take.
We have to make sure that these children know what to do.
For this toddler,
Tú eres muy fuerte, okay?
safety is in Jessica's hands.
Okay, you trust me?
Uba Ali, WCCO News.
We have more information about the nonprofit and the DOPA forms on WCCO.com.
A federal judge ordered the government to fix what it admits was a mistake involving the deportation of a college student, Annie Lopez Bellosa. During the Thanksgiving holiday, the 19-year-old freshman...
On the aesthetic front, they're also doing the cosplay for it too. So it's like we're just one step removed from putting on the fucking swastika, you know? Here is Greg Bovine Bovino.
Hey, jump that photo! Jump that photo! You're all fucking pretend! Coward chicken shit fucks!
Yeah, you might have a hard time seeing Greg Bovine Bovino because he's 5'3", but he's in there. ICE is just pocketing public funds by transferring the private prisoners / custody, not return or production value. Yes. All of this animosity directed towards ICE officers performing their duty is very disheartening. We can be doing more. True. True. It is disheartening that this is the response is good, but it's still limited, I think, especially when you consider how much more they deserve.
At Babson College, she was arrested by ICE agents at Boston's Logan Airport. She was on her way to Texas to visit her family, but the Department of Homeland Security said there had been an order of removal issued for her since 2015 when she was a child. She was deported to Honduras. Friday night, a judge gave the government 21 days to respond while recommending a student visa be extended to Lopez Bellosa. CBS News national correspondent and weekend news anchor
That's why I get so fucking pissed when dumb fucks come in here and say, like, Hasan, you hate America. Why don't you get out? It's like, bitch, if I hated America, I'd be saying this is based. Okay? I'd be like, hell yeah, collapse the fucking empire. You know? When people say I'm a campist, third worldist who hates America and doesn't actually operate on anything other than hatred for America, it's like, okay, well, I would be a Republican. You know what I mean? If I truly hated America, if I was this terrorist that you claim that I am, I would be a Republican. I'd be a Republican voter. I'd be an advocate for Donald Trump. I'd be telling you every day that Donald Trump is making America great again. I would have left a long time ago, and I would be LARPing from a different country talking about how great Donald Trump has been. This shit pisses me off to no end. Anyone who, people who hate America should be saying this is what I voted for right now. The fact that the Trump administration has reappropriated $150 billion, even more than that, okay? But $150 billion in the interim, not to social safety nets at a time when Americans need it desperately, but to this shit. These EROs, these like mass removal operations, mass deportation operations, and mass suppression of political dissent operations, that is destroying America. I'd be demanding to do collaborative streams with the Department of Homeland Security. Let me do a ride along, King. It's fucking awesome.
Rika Duncan was the first to report to speak to her attorney last night after
do
receiving...
people still cope about this? Like, HasanAbi's a foreign agent? There is no reason for me to stay here if I am. DHS says budget is 11 billion. No, I'm talking about the fucking 150 billion extra funding that we signed off for in the big beautiful bill, or even larger than that. This is copium. It is those of us who oppose ICE and those of us who oppose the way things are going that care about our fellow man far more than the fucking Republicans that sit afar and think like, sit across the room and think like, no, this is good actually. This is not collapsing the country. This is a good thing. What fucking foreign agent wants stability and prosperity for the American working class? Yeah, before I forget, I'm going to talk about CBS's bullshit too. Dean Obadallah brought to my attention this Guardian article that came out. CBS News report on ICE officers' injuries drew huge internal concern. Just like when the New York Times did the report Screams Without Words, and there was internal concern within the New York Times on why they put forth this propaganda piece that did not meet their editorial standards. Barry Weiss pushed this article through. J.D. Vance covered it, if you remember. And then Republicans did a whole, celebration tour, being like, see, our guy was actually harmed. Our guy was actually harmed. Our guy, Jonathan Ross, was defending himself. It was bullshit. It appears Barry Weiss and CBS News were lying that the ICE agent Jonathan Ross suffered internal injuries. Even CBS journals questioned the lie being peddled to help the Trump regime. Here are some choice words from the article from Jasper Nathaniel. Before the original report was published, a medical producer at the network suggested in an email to colleagues that it would be helpful to ask what type of treatment he received and whether the officer received surgery or any type of procedure. In another email, an executive expressed skepticism about the broad nature of the medical diagnosis and what it actually entailed. I'm no doctor, but internal bleeding is a very broad term and can range in severity, wrote CBS News Senior Vice President David Ryder. A bruise is internal bleeding, but it can also be something serious, Ryder continued. We do know that the ICE agent walked away from the incident. We have that on camera. The network's top editor, Barry Weiss, expressed a high level of interest in the story on an editorial call on Wednesday morning, according to staffers who listened. There was big internal dissension about the internal bleeding report here last night, the CBS News staffer, who was not authorized to speak publicly, said. It was viewed as a thinly veiled, anonymous leak by the Trump administration to someone who'd carry it online. Felt to many here like we were carrying water for the admins, justifying of the shooting to keep our access to our sources, said a second network staffer, who was also not authorized to comment. Barry Weiss reportedly expressed a high level of interest in pushing the ICE agent internal injury story, even as a CBS medical producer raised major skepticism, and it was viewed internally as a thinly veiled anonymous leak to someone who'd carry it. Humiliating. He never even dropped this phone. And all of the different angles have shown that he was not even in the trajectory of the car. And the only reason why he even touched the car at all is because he slid behind and used the car for leverage. We know that. It's on tape from numerous angles. His feet positioning, by the time he fired the first shot, showed that he was directly outside of the trajectory of the moving vehicle. Just so you understand. And yet, people are still following up on this lie and presenting it as though it's fucking proof. Caroline Leavitt warned Tony DeKoppel and CBS News team to air their Trump interview in full or we'll sue your ass off. Scoop by New York Times by Ben Mullen. Click to hear yourself. So even when these guys are sucking up to the Trump administration is still demanding more.
Your press office tweeted out that it was
Shapiro grills Newsom was on Fox News, by the way, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I do want to cover this part of the story as well. The Independent reports Barry Weiss and Trump exchanged kisses on the cheek following 60 Minutes interview. Almost asked the question, which cheeks? So yeah, that's what's happening in American mainstream news. Also, Bulwark had Jacob Frey on, and they asked him the question, like, what legal avenues can you pursue with local law enforcement? And this was his answer.
You're basically asking, can our cops arrest them?
Yeah.
From a legal perspective, yes. From a practical perspective, to state.
That's it. No. Okay, great. Do it, pussy. Do it. Then do it. The fuck are we talking about? Do it. Do it now. Do it yesterday. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it.
The reality, yeah, it does get kind of hard when they drastically outnumber us and they have bigger guns than we do. It does. And here's the thing. We don't want to.
Yeah, okay, dude. ICE agents are not going to fucking shoot a cop, okay? And if they do, it's over anyway. It's over at that point.
Warfare in the street. We want to keep our communities safe. We're trying our very best to do.
You're not. And by the way, this isn't me saying like, oh, Dems, please save us. I need you to understand. This is beyond that, okay? This is beyond that. At this point, it's not even about like, Democrats doing a show of force here. It's more so just like any avenue that you can pursue to put hurdles in front of these guys is good. It's a necessity. It's a necessity for the survival of this country, not just a survival of the Democratic Party or the opposition or anything like that. It's just you have to do it.
So nobody, our police officers, ICE agents, civilians, nobody can act illegally. Nobody can. And so we're trying to find the best way to prevent these ICE agents from acting illegally while not causing a firestorm on the street. Am I saying it won't happen? No, I'm not saying it won't happen. What I'm saying is like, I am in charge of keeping the peace and directing our police officers.
But you failed. You have fucking failed. Keep the peace by doing what must be done. This is the demand.
Officers, and I got to keep everybody safe. And so I can't commit to anything.
It's crazy that you're even there, right? I can't commit one way or another to deal with how our law enforcement officials should deal with rogue federal law enforcement. And it's like, these are the guys that don't tread on me guys. And they have federal agents coming into your city, menacing your citizens who aren't doing anything illegally. And you've got to.
When he said it's crazy that you're even the mayor, right? I thought he was going in a very different direction.
I have separation of powers discussions in the mayor's office. It's crazy.
The bottom line is we are.
Yeah, the situation is crazy. And you can act in a certain way to push back. Now he's calling for the radical left insurrectionists who illegally ran the Biden administration to be arrested for what they've done to our country. For those who tempted to see this as a bluster or venting, kindly recall the DOJ's investigating Waltz and Frey. Everyone's asking about the auto pen. First of all, no one is asking about that. What was done is totally illegal, and anything signed that is that way is of no further force or effect. The person who worked the auto pen had no idea whether or not Biden approved of what he was doing. There was no order in writing, and it was absolutely a illegal act perpetrated by the radical left insurrectionists. Yeah, okay. Maybe if Donald Trump moves to try and arrest like former administration officials, like maybe then they'll fucking wake up. I don't know. Probably not. They'll probably go to prison and say, nothing we can do here, sir. It's out of our fucking hands.
I think
there's also this. Elon Musk is terrified of Jennifer Welsh, our girly pop queens over at the I've Had It side of things. This account posts, weaponization. Democrat activists Jennifer Welsh and Jim Acosta say mass prosecution of Trump and Republicans would be necessary for national reconciliation when the Dems regain power, arguing that expanding the SCOTUS would be required to jail Trump. And Elon Musk says they mean it. Yeah, we do. We do mean it.
Tsunami.
And I hope you remember that.
Means that Congress is going to haul Elon Musk, big balls, and a bunch of other people's ass in front and say, what crimes did you commit? And it's going to get really serious. And the same with Trump, because I believe, and this is just my opinion, that Trump and all of the bottom-feeding morons surrounding him, and Elon Musk and all the bottom-feeding Klingeroners that surround him, I think they commit crimes every day. And I think to reconcile all of this is going to take hardcore, not integrity Democrats. Fuck you, Democrats. Fuck you for fucking over our country. We are serious about this. We are prosecuting. We're going to uncover every document, every phone call, everything you did. We will be relentless about it. And that's the mindset they've got to have, because I think the electorate is going from, we've got to get him out, but also we want accountability.
There has to be accountability. You have to have a situation where there's accountability. I talked about this the other day with Fanone, the former MPD police officer who almost got killed on January 6th. You know, he said, and I think it's true, that it's more than just the Dems win back the Congress and the White House. We have to change this John Roberts Supreme Court decision that gave the President of the United States a blank check. No man or woman should be above the law in this country. And Donald Trump sure as shit should not be above the law in this country. And I think the Democrats have to talk about it in these terms, that, listen, if we get back.
It's not for you, Kaya. It's for me. It's my food. Little lady. She's so fat.
Back in there, and I'm not saying I'm part of the Democratic Party, but I'm saying that this is the way the Democrats should communicate. They should say when they're back in there, if you guys are going to cling to this idea that Donald Trump is unaccountable, it's just not going to work. And that means adding seats to the Supreme Court so that immunity decision can be overturned, and so Donald Trump can be held accountable for his crime.
Yeah, keep coping. They have to do this. They have to do this for stability. If they don't do this, we're fucked, okay? They have to hold people criminally liable. I know they won't, and I think most Democrats don't realize that they have to start saying this shit. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but this is my demand, and I feel like this is increasingly the demand of a lot of voters too. This kind of, in some instances, literally death and destruction and instability cannot go unpunished. Okay? If there are no penalties for behaving this way, if there are no penalties whatsoever for doing all of this stuff, then we don't have a nation. We don't have any law and order. We have nothing. This is why I'm saying, like, this is not an accelerationist perspective. The accelerationists are those who allow the Republicans to do whatever the fuck they want to do. The same goes for Jacob Frey. If you don't do anything, and you allow these assholes to continue fucking people over, you don't care about preserving this country. You don't care about defending this country. You clearly don't care about defending your constituents, but you care about nothing. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. I don't think these guys are aware of what the people are demanding, or they try to stay oblivious because they don't want to act. They don't want to say anything. They're worried about the pushback that they'll get. They're worried about what the Republicans will do to them right now. And they would rather remain utterly powerless and hope that people will vote for the Democrats because there's no other options anyway. And they think that that will carry them across the finish line in the midterms. And any Democrat voter that leans into that as a fucking real mechanism for change is a delusional idiot. So if you're one of these guys that's getting ready to say, Hasan, what can the Dems do? They should do nothing and they should just wait and they should win elections is so unimaginably cucked. You are demanding that your party doesn't represent you right now when they should. And that is precisely why no changes will come when they're in power.